I am parched, but it's too late to get water now because we're live. Welcome to Marvel-ous Movie Mondays. Happy Monday. I'm Dylan. That's Kelsey. This is the first time anyone is seeing my new studio from this angle. So if you watched my recent Oscar predictions way ahead of time, advance, whatever you want to call it, video, you saw the back end of my new studio setup. This is the other end. This is it with lights on, but it's a cooler aesthetic if I keep the lights off. Kelsey, how are you doing in your lovely apartment that I got to see for the first time recently, and it is just marvelous.
Wow, thanks, Bill.
How you doing, Kels? Lovely weekend. I saw you and some pals. How you doing?
Oh yeah, just had a lovely girls' weekend. I'm honestly still recovering.
I was gonna say I'm recovering from the shock of just like seeing a story like I was posted an hour ago, and then seeing you in this apartment and being like, oh, did she time jump? Like, how the hell did she get there so fast? And then I realized, you know, people are allowed to post pictures later. And
sure,
I didn't compute that in my brain, so I'm like, how did she get there so fast? And it was just taking every ounce of my brain to figure out how you got from the Jersey Shore to New York so fast. And
today was my big old travel day, so it was a nice.
I figured that out eventually, but I was like, she was just there an hour ago. But alas,
I wish I could teleport. That's my go-to
it'd be so
superpower.
Awesome. Because you can't really abuse that power, I don't think, too much. Like if you had super speed, like I guess maybe not. Invisibility, I think, is tough. Because it's like that's a lot of responsibility, not to be in the wrong time, not to fuck
and also,
up.
What is that useful for if not being an evil person? Like that's only good for like stealing and like eavesdropping.
Right. It's
you
bad motives. Whereas transportation, like teleportation, it's just like I need to get here quick, and I don't want to waste the whole day planning it, booking travel, paying for it. It's just like I want to be in California tomorrow. I got it. You know, it'd be life would be so different. I would not need to pay rent. I could live with my parents forever. And then if I wanted to like go to work in the city, I could just walk 10 steps to the right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
For sure.
Wow. Yeah. But speaking of powers. Sorry. Do you want me to segue or do you want to keep talking about this?
Oh, I was just going to say, I love your new setup, Dill. I'm very envious. I've seen two of your apartment. Well, I've seen all your apartments, but two of them have had exposed brick.
You haven't seen this new one yet.
Unless
you've been here when I'm not here.
No, you're right. I've never seen your apartment. You're right.
Kelsey does have invisibility powers, and she's been coming into my apartment when I'm not there. I've had this apartment for 3 months. I don't think you've seen it unless...
No, I haven't been in person, but I'm seeing it now, and I see that you've exposed brick, and I'm very envious of that because I do not have that in my apartment.
Yeah, but you have beautiful lush greenery in the living room.
Oh, yeah.
You just have space in general, which is something. So,
sure.
You and your roommates do a great job. Tell them I said that. They know.
Oh, I sure will.
I raved about it at your birthday party. I was like, love what you did with the place. They're like, you told us like 6 times. I'm like, yeah, but I do. I love it.
No, I love getting compliments. You can tell me that as much as you'd like.
The most fancy dancy thing is the red lighting, the purple lighting, the blue lighting. You'll see in anyone watching this episode of Draft Day today. Later, it's coming out in like an hour. I do a fun light effect for my final draft pick. It's quite fun. Drafting Game of Thrones, inspired by the new Game of Thrones series. I figured I wouldn't ask you because I don't think you've seen it, Kelsey. Unless you have.
Haven't seen it.
Yeah,
haven't seen it.
Wow, great dramaturgy for our senior year play there. I'm kidding. We did a Game of Thrones spoof as our senior year play.
Hey, I read King Lear.
I was going to say it's very much more King Lear than Game of Thrones, but there are Game of Thrones Easter eggs in there. And speaking of Easter eggs, this will be our segue. There were lots of them in this episode of She-Hulk episode 2.
Yeah.
I don't know if Kelsey caught them, but I did, and I have some pictures to show. But we'll get there when we get there. Let's start off with just recapping the episode, talking about the episode, our thoughts. I said earlier, I was like, I wish these 2 episodes had been released together because I think this episode more sets up what the premise of the show is going to be about. Whereas I feel like the last episode sets up the premise of what the character is going to be about. Whereas the last episode didn't give us any inkling to the fact that she was going to be a lawyer for superheroes. And now we know that she's a lawyer for superheroes. And I feel like this is where we get the crux of the show, even though the first episode was important. I think this episode, was much better for me. But we'll talk about it because I enjoyed it a lot.
Logistically, Dill, I think the reason why they didn't release them together is because these are not hour-long, 45-minute long episodes. They're on the shorter end. Like this one was a hot 31 minutes.
Yeah.
So I
But
think
then
that's
I
probably
would
why.
think they would release them together because of that, because they could put out two and it would be the length of one big one. You know what I mean? I feel like the reason they only release
Yeah,
one at
I
a time
see.
is because they're longer. I don't know though. It's a good theory. I don't know. See, sometimes it gets too dark in this apartment, so now I have to boost the light a little bit. There we go. That's perfect. Now you can see my face. What's up, Kelsey?
Nailing it. Wow, I
I
can't
just
believe you're a
love that.
lighting designer, podcast co-host,
Yeah,
all
not
in
not
one.
not close. Not
Dill
close.
is a man of many talents, people. Let
Yeah,
me tell you something.
I could also bust your tables, host your tables, wait your tables. I do that on the
Oh,
side. I can also
I
live
know
in
that
misery
lifestyle as
in
well.
heat and wish I had air conditioning in all the rooms in my apartment. There are a lot of things I do on the daily that I think, wow, no one else is living this life.
One of my many talents is writing summaries of the episodes we watch. So let's listen to
Tell
one
us.
now.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is for episode 2, titled Superhuman Law. She-Hulk, attorney at law. After saving the jury members from superhuman influencer Titania, Jen Walters loses the case and her job, but is offered a new job heading the Superhuman Law Division.
Cool. Yeah, like I said, this is basically setting up the premise for the show, which I like, which
Yeah.
was a complaint I had for the last one, because it kind of just someone busted through a courtroom and we were all just like, wait, what? Who is this? And what is the problem? What? But
Yeah.
here it's more like, okay, this is what this is, and I love that. And I feel like this one, because it didn't have to do a lot of the deep origin story stuff, and it wasn't, it was a little less heavy on the messaging. I think it was more focused on the humor, which I liked. A very funny episode, I think. So yeah, let's go head first into this thing because I'm very excited. Let's put on some green light here. There we go. I love the lights. There we go.
So we start off this episode, Jill, with a news broadcast reporting the incident that happened in the courtroom at the end of last week's episode. We find out that the mystery woman who burst through the courtroom walls was superhuman influencer Titania. We don't know much about her yet. We don't really know what her motivation is, what she wants, really her origin, anything. We just know we just got her name confirmed, essentially. And people have been throwing around a new nickname for Jen Walters, which we could have seen coming. She-Hulk. So she goes out to a bar with her paralegal / best friend Nikki. They hear the chanting of She-Hulk in the distance because they're, psyched that she saved the courtroom the earlier in the day, I guess. And her friend Nikki is like, oh, well, Nikki's like, oh, that's chanting is for you. And Jen Walters is like, no, they're talking about someone named She-Hulk. That is certainly not me. And, Nikki throws out some other ideas. She goes, yeah, Lady Hulk, Girl Hulk, She-Hulk. It's all the same. And I just really hope that they address this nonsense that female superheroes have to have their gender specified in their names, whereas male superheroes obviously do not. I mean,
well, Iron Man is one, but everyone else no. Yeah,
I guess, but it's always when it's the girl
but it's not
version
Man of Iron.
it's
or Man Spider. It's Spider.
Like if Pepper Potts took up the mantle of being Iron Man, would they call her Iron Woman?
I don't know. Maybe. Well, we have Iron Heart coming. I don't know.
Iron Man. Iron Man.
I was not trying to diss. I was not trying to diss your point. It was more just me adding.
No, I know.
Yeah, no, I know. I know.
As I said it.
Yeah. No.
As I said it, I was thinking of people. I was like Ant-Man, Spider-Man, Iron Man,
Batman. But again, yeah, you know what I mean. It's different.
It's specifically when
she is right there.
It's very specific when it's the female version of a male superhero that already exists.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Whereas the Scarlet Witch is her own super powered being. Captain Marvel is not attached to.
What if they have a Scarlet Witch? No, I'm kidding.
Scarlet Witch, the boy. I don't know. It just sounds ridiculous. So I understand where Jen is coming, that she is very distraught with having this nickname.
What I will say though is it's so funny because all these superheroes are ugh, these nicknames. Miss Marvel, she did the same thing for the Nightlight thing. And if it's because of the gender thing, I get it. But just the idea of a superhero name in general, if I had any name, give me whatever superhero name. If I have a superhero name, I'm rocking it no matter what. I'm just yeah, okay. I'm Nightlight. Hell yeah. But again, I'm coming from a perspective of someone who doesn't have superpowers. And maybe if I got it, I'd be a little bit more egotistical and greedy about it too. And I'd be like, you know what? No, that's not my name.
But what if they made you sound really lame, like Dill the Dung Beetle?
Dill the Dung Beetle? He's coming to a town near you, and he's gonna save the world because he's awesome. That's what I'd say.
All right, Dill, you have a better attitude than most people I know.
No, it's okay. No, you're right. Well, because my name rhymes with a lot of things, like villain, chillin'. You know, like I feel like it could be like
Chill Dylan the Chillin' Villain.
Yeah, or Dill Pickles, which is how this whole thing started. But
how about this? You now think of one for me, but I'm gonna keep going. You just let me know. You marinate on that. So she gives the people.
She Kelsey.
She Kelsey.
Oh god. Shikiki.
Shikiki.
It's like sounds like an island in Hawaii. Welcome to Shikiki.
Honestly, it makes me sound like pretty tropical and like relaxed.
Take a nice vacation to the nice sunny isles of Shikiki.
Shikiki. I like it.
I like Shikiki. I like that. See,
so
I did it.
All right, thank you, Dill. So Jen, she gives the people what they want in the bar. She transforms into the She-Hulk for them. She immediately starts knocking back drinks because, you know, she's had a whirlwind of a day. And then Dennis still sucks. You know, remember Dennis, the other lawyer that we met in the first episode? He's like, you know, it's no kidding. Like, you would bring this out, like, just for you to get recognized, for you to get the recognition, for you to get, you know, all the attention, whatever. And he's like, how'd you even get these powers? And she's like, I really don't want to talk about it. And he's like, nepotism. I knew it. And it's like, in a way, it's kind of funny because she did kind of get them from her family. I mean, she didn't want them, but she did get them from a family member. So I guess technically it is nepotism. So, you know, Nikki tries to like shoo Dennis away, and he leaves with saying, there's a hot girl over there. I'm going to go talk to it. Refers to a human being.
Possibly
as it.
In one line, and I know he's had more lines, but in one line, the worst character in the MCU, period.
Oh, like, for sure. Like, I hope bad things happen.
Thanos, what an angel in comparison.
Thanos who? Dennis is the new heel in my life.
Right.
So Nikki and Jen start getting to talking. They're like, oh, so, you know, everyone's giving us free drinks now because they think you're a superhero. And Jen's like, I'm not a superhero. I'm not going to be a superhero. The only people that are superheroes are billionaires, narcissists, and adult orphans for some reason. And I just love the, like, what's it called? Like the self-aware, meta-ness that's happening.
Hey, our franchise has tropes that we do a lot. That we buy into a lot. Yeah.
And Nikki's like, but come on, like, you could be an Avenger. And Jen's like, well, actually, no, because do Avengers, do they get healthcare? Do they get maternity leave? Do they even get paid? And it's like, thank you, Jen Walters. You're actually asking the real questions. These are all things that I would love to know.
Why? I don't know why there's so much Falcon and the Winter Soldier slander, because that brought up similar things of like, what happens now for like superheroes? Like, they don't have protection. I think of that one scene where Sam Wilson's sitting down with like that one agent, and like,
yes,
they're like,
when they're trying to
do. You're an Avenger, but still, like, sorry, there's nothing I could do for you. And it's just like, being an Avenger, I mean, it has its perks, obviously, but like, it's got some downsides. It really does.
Yeah, as we're seeing in this show, especially last episode when Jen's like, your entire is talking to Bruce on the island in Mexico, and she's like, you know, your entire life's been taken away. Like, I don't want that. Like, I want to keep, you know, doing my thing, using my law degree, being a boss ass bitch. So Jen goes back to being Jen because her boss comes over and is like, we need to have a serious chat. And immediately she goes back into her human form and is wasted. She falls right over. She's like, oh God, now I have a different metabolism. The 2 bourbons, I'm assuming she threw back, are now coursing through her veins.
Right. And which, like, is so funny because we heard the plus side of, you can drink and nothing will happen, but they didn't ever go through the whole, but when you revert back to normal,
yes,
yeah, it's not good. Which I think is just hilarious. It's like, does Quicksilver get a headache when he stops running? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is his brain still running? And that, you know, like, they don't address those things. Like, when you're out of super mode, like, You know what I mean? Like that's what that made me think of, is like when he's running really fast, great, but like when he stops running, is his brain still going like the or his heart?
Sure.
Like I don't know, like stuff like that, and that makes me think.
I feel
like when you go through actual body transformations, not like Iron Man, but like actual transformations. Like does
no,
body,
yeah, when the
body feel the effect of that? Like I don't know. Ant-Man, does he feel like he grew it all? Or like I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Ant-Man's a funny one. I honestly, I don't know the.
Paul Rudd is very funny.
He's funny in many different words, in many different senses of the word funny. But it's like I truly don't know. If I knew quantum physics, I wouldn't be here now, would I? I'd be, in a lab somewhere, I think.
Wish we all, yeah.
So essentially, Jen gets fired because he's like, now that we lost the case, the jury members were biased, obviously, because you saved their life. So the opposing attorney law firm wants to have a retrial. And you know what? You're kind of a liability now. So we're going to have to let you go. And then our title card appears and it says She-Hulk, attorney for hire instead of attorney at law.
I thought was the title of the episode when it happened. And then I realized it wasn't. I was like, interesting. So that's just
interesting.
I was like, wouldn't that have been a good time to or wouldn't that have been a good title for the episode, like attorney for hire? And
attorney for hire. I guess that maybe would have given it away. I don't know. Yeah. So we now see a montage of Jen trying to get a slew of different jobs. Everyone is rejecting her because they know her as the She-Hulk. They're like, we don't want to bring this attention to our law firms. Sorry, we're just it's gonna be a no from us. And so now we cut to a scene of her hanging out on her couch. She's on her laptop with her friend Nikki. They're brainstorming, different at different places she could work at. And they show us a very elongated shot of what Jen is looking at on her screen. Now, Dill, when we had Easter eggs way back in the beginning of this podcast, but I'm saying we used to talk about Easter eggs at the end of the episode. Do we want to just talk about them now?
Yeah, why not? Since we're here.
All right.
Do you want to first talk about our phone, which is Captain America's ass?
Nice! I didn't catch that, Dill.
Yeah, America's ass.
I think she has a crush on Steve Rogers.
I saw it, I screenshot it, but see that laptop behind her? Let's zoom in. Why don't we? Is this what you're talking about, Kels?
Yeah, I wrote them all down, Dill.
All right. Well, I know you can say them. I'm just gonna.
Okay.
There's a visual now for our audio listeners aren't seeing this, so tell.
All right, you're right. All right, let me break it down for you. So Jen Walters is looking at a BuzzFeed type website that has quizzes and lists and all that fun stuff. And she's looking at an article titled 10 offbeat jobs for a fresh start. And then the number one job listed is a Swiss Village mascot. Now, this is not the Easter eggs, people. The Easter eggs that we are talking about are the fact that on the side, there is an advertisement for sneakers called Iron Man 3s. I guess that the universe's Jordans or something like that.
Or something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We see an article titled Man Fights with Metal Claws in Bar Brawl.
And we know what movie that is. Well, not what movie necessarily, but what character.
But we know what character we're mentioning here.
Maybe Wolverine, maybe?
Rhymes with Hugh Hackman.
Hugh Hackman. That's right, our good friend. Hugh Hackman, my mailman.
We see another hyperlink for a different article titled "Why There Is a Giant Statue of a Man Sticking Out of the Ocean." Could this be the Eternals?
Maybe. And I saw a hilarious TikTok about this. Some guy, some guy a long time ago said, why aren't they acknowledging the hand in the ocean in Eternals? Because it is in the ocean, and you think about it, the ocean is huge. So the chances of seeing it, who knows? But then some other guy made a TikTok duet of it and was like, listen to how weird it would sound if just all the three Spider-Men were just standing there, Toby, Andrew, and Tom goes, wait, but guys, why is there a hand sticking out of the ocean? And then they do it with Hawkeye, where Hawkeye's like, all right, go collect the arrows. And Kate, why is there a hand sticking out of the ocean? And they go through every movie in Phase 4, and they just stop the scene to ask the question. And it makes sense why, because this just doesn't come up naturally, conversation. It would have to be the day of on the news, people would be like, yo, did you hear about this? But you wouldn't just bring it up in normal conversation when time has passed. And that's what's so funny is people are just like, why aren't they acknowledging Eternals? It's because Eternals sucks. I'm like, no, it's not. It's because the day it happened, people were probably like, what the fuck is this? And then they moved on. It's not like doing anything to you. And
humans,
like, yes, this article's there, but it's like, do we have to acknowledge it in every MCU project? Do we have to acknowledge everything in every project? No.
Yeah. Very true, Dill. Very true. So then up at the top, we saw some more little tabs on the top that I noticed.
I don't have that, so you can tell me.
No, that's okay. There's a Find Ant-Man tab, which I'm assuming is some sort of game. There's a Norse mythology tab, a little reference to Thor, obviously, and just a tab titled Avengers. So lots of fun stuff in this episode. I miss like, excuse me. I miss being able to talk and breathe normally. I miss when we did WandaVision. Dill, when we first started this podcast and we first started with WandaVision, like I loved like pausing the screen and writing down everything I saw and looking into it. I feel like I haven't done that in so long. So I'm so glad that this show is like incorporating, little things for us to find
I think that all
lifelong watchers
goes back to the overarching theme of visual effects department is under a lot, and they just don't have time to be thinking about Easter eggs and making pages for all these things. And the actual visual scope of a lot of these shows is pretty barren. There was some cool stuff in Miss Marvel, but I don't think it was connected to other stuff. But this one definitely is the first since WandaVision where I've been like kind of picking through it and being like, ooh, what's that? It is kind of fun, especially because we know just by the nature of the series that we're going to come across a lot of supers. And this is a character that like this series could go on for a while because there are going to be more superheroes who need help or supervillains. So it's like, I like the idea of just her being kind of that lawyer to be able to like funnel all these characters in while still having her own story, but like being able to expand on some of these side smaller characters also just by giving them a trial or something to look toward in that sense.
Yeah, for sure. So she gets a text from her mother in this scene reminding her that they have a family dinner at 7:00. And we meet her family. And obviously this is,
the Banners, right? Or I don't know what their last name is, but
the Walters, perhaps.
The Walters is.
We meet cousin Chet, who was mentioned in the first episode, who was just promoted to being a manager at Best Buy. So Chet's got a lot of good stuff going on in his life.
Do you think he works with the other guy, the guy from was it GameStop or whatever? Who
Captain America, the Winter Soldier, new Master 69.
Yeah,
his name's Aaron.
Do you think Aaron? Wow, you are too good at trivia. Do you think he is connected in any way to Chet from Best Buy? Do you think they play?
Man, I hope so. I would love that if they were just like friends. If he just
that'll
like
be
we saw a shot.
We have to keep watching for because I feel like we could see like Chet just playing video games and it'd be. Like,
and it was the Apple Store. I'm pretty sure that they were at. In
why did I think it was Best Buy? Oh, because Fortnite gaming. Never mind.
I don't know.
Wait, no, this is Best Buy. What did I say? GameStop? I don't know.
You say GameStop, but I they never say it. But his ID had the Apple logo on it, so I don't know if they can. I don't know.
So, it's like Nickelodeon with the pear, and it's like they can't say Apple.
Yeah. Their pear pods.
Pear phone, like.
Man, Nickelodeon is under some serious fire these days. You hear about what's going on? Jeanette McCurdy's new book?
But yeah, I've read her book, and good for her. Good for her for speaking out. I love Jeanette McCurdy. Much respect to her. If she's listening to this podcast, which of course she is, how could she not be? Jeanette McCurdy, you're awesome. And keep doing you and keep being awesome.
So obviously Jen's family is very overbearing. They are asking her all kinds of questions about Hawkeye, people that she's never met, never even been in the same room as. Her dad's asking if Hawkeye collects his arrows. They're asking her. Yeah, he does actually, as we know now. Her cousins are asking if she wants to get like a stylist. Her mom's trying to set her up with some guy named Yusef, who just wants to be a superhero and is just looking for some advice. I looked into this character. I couldn't find him in my
Okay.
encyclopedia. Maybe he's on a wiki Marvel fan page or something. I'll have to do some really deep digging. But I didn't see him in the encyclopedia, so I didn't think he was that legit. And so Jen needs a drink. Oh, but first,
I was just gonna say because there's Yusef and then there's Yusuf, because Kamala Khan's father is Yusuf Khan, but that's not the same character. Obviously,
how does he spell it? Did you Google it?
No, I think he spells it. Hold on, let me look it up.
Well, she said it was like a young kid, not like a kid,
I know
but
it's
like
not the same
a younger
character, definitely.
Oh.
Yeah, Yusuf, Yusuf
Yusuf.
Yusuf is the dad, and this is, I think, a little bit different. This is Yusef, so it is two different characters, but it's just weird that we already have a Yusuf.
Oh, well, I watched it with subtitles, and they spelt it Yusuf.
Oh, maybe it's Kamala.
Is this
Kamala Khan's dad?
Is this Mr. Khan? Is this a tie into Miss Marvel? Crazy. Well, she made it sound like she was like, "Oh, like he's too young for you." I don't know.
I'm just convinced it's a coincidence, and I don't know.
Maybe he wants some advice about how to be, because they were going as Hulk to the convention. Remember, he had the Hulk costume.
Aren't they talking about romantic though, like setting him up, or is it?
No, she says no, not like that. He just wants advice about being a superhero.
Oh, it's totally her dad. Oh my god.
Wait, but how did she meet him at the coffee? If this takes place in Los Angeles, how does she meet him at the coffee shop if Kamala Khan lives in Jersey City?
She's a fucking Avenger. Or she can fly on the... Hulk is in space, Kelsey. Well, we'll talk about it. But...
Hey, we'll get there when we get there. Spoiler alert.
I don't know though. I mean, like, it's gotta be him, right?
It's gotta be, I guess. Oh, I love how we had this revelation together. Live. You heard it here first, folks.
Y'all, it's Monday morning when you're watching this, but it's Sunday night.
They're probably they're so dumb.
9-hour shift today. I am exhausted. I just did a whole Game of Thrones draft talking about the most gruesome kills in history. I'm tired right now. But wow.
Because they wanted to go as Big Hulk and Little Hulk to Avenger Con. Remember?
Sense. And the fact that he doesn't get to go now makes me so sad. Because he went all his way to Los Angeles. Actually, she probably came all the way to him. But like, no, maybe they FaceTimed.
Okay, we're just trying to make this work. We just want to make this work so bad. Okay.
I want this to happen.
Maybe we'll get our answers somewhere down the line. So Jen's dad saves her from this madness, from this chaos. She can tell that she's really not handling this well. So she's like, hey, can you actually come help me out with a few things while you're here? And, he gives... I love the Marvel dads so far. Some of them. The last two we've seen. Mr. Khan and now Jen Walters' father. Very sweet. This is a very sweet scene where she's like... she's very conflicted about what she did, because obviously she did the right thing, but it cost her job. And now possibly her whole way of life, if she can never be a lawyer anywhere else, that's all she's ever wanted to do. But she does feel better now that this weight's been lifted, now that the world knows that she is a Hulk. So it's just a very complicated situation. And her dad's like, hey, this is not the first Hulk in the family. All right. You didn't drop an entire city. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge to Sokovia in Avengers Age of Ultron. And you know what? You did the right thing. Everyone knows you're a Hulk now, and you're still standing. Okay? So you're going to turn this all around. I believe in you. Dad gives a nice little pep talk. I felt like it was really for me in that moment. I don't know why, but I just felt very seen. It's like I needed that as much as Jen Walters did.
I think you're really... I think She-Hulk Jennifer Walters is like you. It's just like, I feel like you really embody her vibe.
Oh my God, thank you so much, Jill. That is such a compliment.
Is it a compliment? I just want to make
sure.
Okay. Yeah. You never
know. I'm literally honored, because Tatiana Maslany is literally killing it. Yeah. And I think she's doing such an amazing job.
The vibes from the beginning, I've been like,
but yeah. Oh my God, I love that I give off Jen Walters energy. That's the best thing you've ever said to me in my life.
Okay.
I like that more than you complimenting my apartment.
Oh, okay, well, you're welcome.
Thank you. So now Jen needs a drink after all of this. She goes out to a bar. She's getting a pint, as they say in the UK,
A pint.
and grabbing a pint.
I don't know why I don't know what accent I just said, but move on.
I didn't hesitate for a second. Didn't even question it.
I did. I said
okay.
I'm sure a lot
Joe's
of
like,
people
I did. I regretted it immediately. So the bartender asks her if she wants another. She goes, I'm kind of balling on a budget these days. So, no. And then the lawyer from the opposing law firm who cost them the case, who now wants a retrial, approaches her with a job offer. And he's like, I want you to head a new division that we have going on here, which is the Superhuman Law Division. She immediately accepts because, you know, she doesn't know when the next job offer is just going to land in her lap. So she's like, I got to take this. I got to jump at this opportunity when I can. And we find out in the next scene, she goes in for her first day of work. And the only reason why she was picked to do this is because he wants her. His name's Mr. Holloway. Mr. Holloway wants her to be the She-Hulk at work and in the courtroom while she is being the head of this division. And, you know, obviously this is kind of like a punch in the gut to Jen because it's like, you didn't want me for my talents. You wanted me for this strange ability that I have. And like, obviously I'm more than qualified to have this job, but now all anyone's ever going to think is that the only reason why I got this job is because I can Hulk out. I can turn into a big green lady. What the heck is that about? Yeah. So we meet up with Nikki in her office. She has a gorgeous corner office. She has these huge windows. She has a fully stocked mini fridge. Things might be, you know, looking up. We might have to take some bad with our good here. And we meet Pug. Pug comes in and greets Jennifer Walters with a nice little welcoming basket. He brought over some like supplies, some work supplies, some snacks. And he was even nice enough to give her a map to the best bathroom to poop in. And if that's not a solid coworker, I don't know what is.
I'll be honest, because this might be a little bit deep. That's a bad segue.
No, go ahead, Jill. Share. Don't hold back
poop.
now.
I can't poop at work. I mean, there's just something about pooping at work that just like they do a whole episode on How I Met Your Mother. It's just the most uncomfortable, awkward scenario because you're gone for at least a long enough time for people to be like, where are they?
Yeah, for people to notice.
That's when it gets awkward. So you feel like you have to go quick, but if you can't do it quick, it's even more awkward and painful.
Yeah,
not physically, but like more just like painful anxiety.
Yeah,
and sometimes it's just dirty and gross. Like I don't like public bathrooms as is. I'm a germaphobe, so it's like.
No,
just
it's
something
not
about
great.
Pooping in public sucks, but also at work nonetheless with peers that you see every day, especially when like you hear someone try to go in and it's like, oh, like you have to say either someone's in here or you just stay silent. They have to wait. But then when you open the door and someone's waiting outside because they were waiting to go after you, but they know you've been in there because you've been in there for at least another minute. It's like, I'm like having anxiety.
You're having a whole fit just even thinking about it.
Right now, Kelsey. Like I needed to get that off my chest, but like wow, like what an awkward, horrible experience with that coworker saying like this is the best place to do it. Like that is the most loyal, awesome friend you could have in the world.
Yeah, right off the bat.
Find you a person.
Giving her the real advice. Well, here's the thing, Dill, is that I just think that there's something so vulnerable about pooping. Like you're in such a vulnerable, you're just so vulnerable. Like you're hunched, you're crouched over, you're sitting down with no pants on. You're Winnie the Poohing it. And it's just like, there's just something about needing to do that in public. Like that is literally worst case scenario. That's like a dire situation if I need to do it in public. Yeah. And there's just something where I'm just like, where's my dignity? Where's the dignity in this? There's absolutely none. My self-respect out the window.
Moral of the story, do it at home, kids, before you go to school or go to work. And if you're at work and need to go, have a friend like Pup.
Have a friend like Pup.
Or enjoy your misery.
Or you can just remind yourself that everybody poops. And just stop being embarrassed about it.
But...
It's like, how are you going to make fun of me for doing the same thing? I know you're doing this at least once, twice a day. And if you're not, you should get something checked. Anyway, rant over. Let's move on.
If you're not doing it, if you're doing it less or more. I guess both.
Probably both. If you're going,
I thought you were talking about more, but then I was like, no, she means less. But then I was like, more is also bad.
No, I think both. If you're, just everyone watch your bowel movements.
That reminds me of John Mulaney. How many times do you pee a day? I said 11.
11. You're peeing 11 times a day?
11 times a day. Honestly, though, like, if you're really hydrated, though, I don't think 11 is terrible. Like, am I going to get in trouble for saying that? Like, here's the thing. If you do, like, 11, like, moderate to low length pees a day, if you're really hydrated, I think that makes sense because you're constantly drinking, especially if you're drinking alcohol. Like, you're constantly peeing, I feel. If it's, like, the 1 minute, 1.5, 2 minutes, stand there and let it all out, like, in the morning, like,
or sit. Pee. Not all of us stand.
Sorry, I'm hindering the conversation right now. But, like, if it's like the good old, like, 2 minute, like, morning pee that you're having 11 times a day, that's a problem, I think. But if you're peeing 11 times, it's a quick little, like, ooh, I drank 3 cups of water. Psst, done. Wash my hands at the end. Goodbye.
I don't know. I feel like my max is probably like 5.
5
5 to 6.
I pee before I podcast every time. And I podcast
That's
twice
smart.
today. I peed twice tonight.
Are you hydrating, Dill?
Yes. I don't have, this is not water. That's a
when
I
soda, but. When I drink though, I could go 5 times that night, easy.
Well, that's the thing. Yeah, like at your apartment.
But I'm not drinking every day. Well, not to the extent that I'm peeing 5 times.
Like you're not having a college night out.
We didn't even get to the most important aspect of this episode. We were just off the rails.
I feel like this is one of those podcasts where it's like, well, with 30-minute episodes.
Wait. I'm sorry. I just noticed you changed our names.
I changed it like 20 minutes ago.
Dylan the Dung Beetle and She-Kiki. Oh, I just noticed that. Oh my god.
I'll turn them back before the end of the episode. Let's see if you find it. Actually, no, I don't want you to be distracted, but they will change by the time we're done.
So we're back at the first day of work. For those of you who have now gotten lost in our like 10-minute tangent about everything except what we came here to talk about, we're talking about She-Hulk episode 2.
Listen, podcasting, if they wanted a recap and only a recap, there's an IMDb page. If they wanted commentary and a review,
that's fair.
There are reviews. If they want commentary, review, and personal stories that connect to the material very adjacently, that's where we come in. We do this for free. Just that fun. Even though I dropped a lot of money on a ring light the other day, but we do this for free.
Mm-hmm. That's for darn sure. I don't see a cent from doing this every week.
I don't either. Don't worry, it's not just you. I remember when I told you, I'll get you your paycheck at the end of the month once this podcast, and then I was like, wait, we need how many viewers? Oh, and now we're working our way.
Cool. But we're gonna get there one day.
You make up at least 1% of our viewer listenership. So thank you.
Wow, we're world renowned, guys.
At the end of the show, I'll give a shout out to all the countries listening to us. How about that? That's a thank you.
So now we find out who Jen's first client is going to be as the head of the Superhuman Law Division. And that is Emil Blonsky, a.k.a. the Abomination from The Incredible Hulk.
Yes, and like a lot of characters that we haven't seen in a long time, it's a new and improved, maybe, Emil Blonsky. He's funny, he's quippy, he's got a little bit of British sass, he's got a little bit of that Trevor Slattery thing going on.
Oh, yeah.
I
see it now that you're pointing it out to me, too.
I'm calm now. I'm calm.
So obviously this is a conflict of interest for Jen because she's like, that guy actually tried to kill my cousin a few years ago. I don't know if everyone remembers, but I really don't feel comfortable taking this client. And essentially she gets told, you don't take the client, you don't have a job with us. So you got to take the client. So she goes to at least, hear out what he has to say about it. She visited him at the high security prison he is being held at. She tries to go as She-Hulk, but they say no superpowers beyond this point. She shrinks down back to Jen form. and she's, getting walked through the halls by a security guard, and he's taking her through everything. He's like, don't touch the glass, don't walk past the yellow line. Even though we've taken all these precautions, you still might die in there, and please leave down an emergency contact just in case things don't go as planned. And she's like, oh, great. So she goes into this prison cell expecting to see the Abomination, but it is just Emil Blonsky in his Emil Blonsky form.
Just a guy.
Yeah. And, he's kind of a chill dude. He's like, relax. I've really got this whole thing under control anymore. I simply don't want to be the Abomination. And that's why I don't transform into him. So maybe I should, be let go, being that also I was kind of unfairly put here because I was only following orders from the US government, who pumped me with this janky super soldier serum, and that's why I kind of went berserk.
Yeah,
and now, Jen's hearing him out. She's like really starting you can see the lawyer gears turning in her head. That's like, this does seem kind of hinky. Maybe this guy could
you gotta empathize with your client.
Yeah, for sure. And Jinx. So, we find some other things out about Emil Blonsky. He apparently has 7 soulmates that he just wants to go live a peaceful life with.
I wonder if it's 7 all at once, or if he has like 7 across the globe, and he's like, I'm gonna stay with her for a week, and then him for a week, and then her. Or if it's like all 7 of my bitches are all here.
I think he made it sound like, they were all gonna live on like a compound together and just be
monogamous,
polygamous.
I was confused. Yeah, makes sense. Poly, many, mono, one
couple of people. I don't know. And he also likes to write haikus, and he has written some very nice haikus as to why he should be out of jail. And she's like, you know what? Let me just think on this for a hot minute. I will let you know if I will represent you. So she calls Bruce and is like, hey, I just want to let you know I'm thinking about taking on this client, but if you're uncomfortable with this in any way, shape, or form, just let me know. And Bruce is like, I don't think you're calling me to see if I'll give you permission. I think you're calling me to tell me that you're accepting the job. And she's like, I am.
It wasn't up to him.
Yeah. And he's like, don't even worry about it. Emil wrote me a letter with a nice haiku in it a few years back. It's water under the bridge. I'm chill. You're chill. I'm cool. You're cool. Let's just be cool together.
And the best line is the Easter egg of I'm not the same guy I was back then. Literally. And then the take to the fourth wall. I love that. More the Marvel self-aware Edward Norton shit, which makes me think if we get Edward Norton in this series, I'm going to lose my shit. I don't think we will, because he doesn't want anything to do with Marvel, but that would be crazy.
Wow, that was good, Dill. I didn't see. I thought that it was just. I just thought that it was a reference to him now being like Professor Hulk, but it was. Wow.
I think that's literally to poke fun of Edward Norton and be like, "Fuck you."
Yeah. No, that was
also,
awesome. Oh,
they
that's so much better now.
Canonized again, because so many people have been like, "Oh, you can skip that one because it's not on Disney Plus because it was technically owned by a different company." But now, people are like, "No, but it's got Thunderbolt Ross, and now Emil Blonsky's back." So I think it's their attempt to try to canonize it while also making fun of it at the same time, because it's not a great movie, but
yeah. So now at the end of the call, Jen asks Bruce if he's ever going to be in LA anytime soon, and we zoom out from wherever Bruce is on this phone call, and he goes, I don't think I'm going to be back for quite some time. There's some things I got to take care of. And he's on the Thank you, Jill, for the drum roll.
If I drum rolled, it would sound like an earthquake in here because my mic is on the desk.
The Sicarian spacecraft from the first episode, and he's in space.
He's literally in space. And Jill, will we see him again? Do we know where he's going? I don't know. Assuming he's going to Sakaar. A lot of questions.
What do we make of this?
I can tell you what we make of it. And this is me being someone who loves the Hulk. I have read the World War Hulk comics, and this feels very much like they're setting it up. And we've heard rumors that they may be doing a solo Hulk project in 2023 or 2024. I don't think 2023 because that seems very soon, but somewhere soon down the line. This is happening. These episodes are airing right before Disney Plus Day /D23 in September. Maybe that we'll get an announcement there. I think Planet Hulk is coming, or World War Hulk. I think they did a little bit of Planet Hulk in Thor Ragnarok, but it's a very famous comic book storyline. We'll do more research on it, obviously, if it becomes a bigger thing. But like, I've been hearing just from huge mega comic fans that like that's where they're kind of building with Hulk back in space, is they're going to try to do World War Hulk, which is cool. More Hulk stuff is awesome stuff, and I love the Hulk, so I'm hoping they do more for him. But it looks like World War Hulk or Planet Hulk or something along the lines of a Hulk spinoff or something is going to happen, because they almost make it sound like that's a story for another time kind of thing, when she's like, what are you up to? And I feel like they wouldn't just leave that open to just kind of resolve it half-ass, so. Yeah,
for sure. And so she calls her boss to tell him that she's going to be taking the job. She's going to be taking Emil as her client. And he goes, great. Maybe you should turn on the news. And we flip the switch to find out that, because this was in my head the whole episode, Dale. I was like, how does Shang-Chi, what we saw in Shang-Chi, tie into what's going on with this character in the show? And it is because Shang-Chi and She-Hulk are timeline-wise happening simultaneously. So he has escaped prison. The news report says that Abomination has escaped prison and that he has been seen. There's footage of him fighting in an underground fight club with Wong.
And here's my thing is, I don't think the footage didn't look like he actually braked from the prison. It looks like there is no break, which is because, as far as we know, from what I remember from Shang-Chi, Wong creates a portal for him and basically busts him out himself. So that is my thought, is that because in the trailers we see Wong, I have a feeling they're both going to get in some trouble because Wong is the one who kind of bust him out to do this fighting thing. So I think that's how we're going to get Wong into the series, and that's going to happen because I heard he comes in the next few episodes as well, just because the critics have seen the first 4 episodes and we know Wong is in the trailers. Like, Wong's coming very soon because I think there's going to be some fallout here. But it's kind of nice how we're starting to get like this connective tissue, Shang-Chi, and then obviously the Shang-Chi post-credits, Wong is presumably okay, and he's talking with Bruce and Captain Marvel, so maybe we're going to see some of that connected as well with Bruce. Since we now know Bruce can go back to his human form. Interesting timeline, though, because in that one, Bruce still has kind of like the broken arm, but in the last She-Hulk episode, he doesn't. So it's like maybe that post-credits, I don't understand the timeline. And I think, honestly, I just overthought it to the point where I think I just pointed out a flaw of the timeline. But anyway, because Shang-Chi, the Abomination and Wong fight, Shang-Chi post-credit, Wong is like, you're an Avenger now, come with us, and Bruce Banner has his cast. But if She-Hulk is happening alongside Shang-Chi...
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Bruce would have had to heal. So what She-Hulk is seeing now would be after the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi, so it's been a while since they fought. Maybe they fought like a week back. I don't know.
Well, maybe wherever Bruce is about to be, he's going to hurt his arm again.
Yeah, honestly, that's how it's gonna happen.
His poor right arm is just taking a beating.
Maybe when he's in his human form, it's broken again. But when he's Hulk, he's able to be okay. But like when he goes back to human, he's like, "Ow, I gotta put it back in." That's my best Ruffalo. But I just No. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Nothing.
Gotta put my arm back in the sling. Sorry, I said a very never mind. Anyway. Is that
We're a family-friendly channel. That is the end of the episode. Well, we do have the post-credit, and it's just her helping out Dad around the house.
Slave to the family, the family abusing her powers, which
very fun.
But also like fun, whatever.
Hey, I would take advantage if I knew someone with superhero strength. I'd be like,
honestly, the way Kevin Feige was like, there's a post-credit every episode. I was like, ooh, we're gonna get something juicy. And the past 2 have been like Captain America fucks, and then this is like, oh, she puts up IKEA furniture.
No, but I kind of like how it's like kind of sitcom-y where like there's like that one tag at the end of a sitcom that's like kind of like not related to the rest of the episode. It's just like one more last joke at the end, and I've been appreciating it.
Yeah, that's a good point. You know what had the best like final like little tags like that was New Girl. I always felt like New Girl always did it well. Yeah. So.
Dill, this is what I was talking to you about before. I forgot to bring it up when we were having that big conversation about Easter eggs, because I've noticed not once, but twice that there have been QR codes in this in these 2 episodes.
Have you
And I'm
scanned them?
trying desperately to scan them, but my phone's not reading them.
Oh, they're She-Hulk comics, so you get a little digital comic every time you click it. But, yeah, nothing
because
really
I
exceptional.
noticed
I
it
haven't
in the
read the
bar.
comics, but I did scan it both times, and it's like, oh, cool, the comic
My
that I
phone
don't have
wasn't
time
registering
to read.
it. Because I noticed it in the bar, and then I noticed it on the website in this episode, and I was like, all right, these have to be purposeful then. And then I was so excited. I was gonna scan them. I was gonna have a whole presentation for the podcast.
What was the last one that we had a QR code for? What show was it? Oh, that's a trivia question.
Moon Knight.
Oh, was it
Moon Knight? Yeah.
Okay, well, never mind. It's not a 5-pointer because you knew it right away.
Well, Dill.
I know. Well, I
guess
guess
this is part of my
questions
lifestyle.
to stump you, not to stump you, but to at least
yeah.
We can't have any steamrolls here at Marvel-ous Movie Mondays. Speaking of, next week we got trivia. We got Malcolm taking on JD. Winner will play Noah. Winner of that will play Kelsey. And we got an undercard, which is going to be a surprise until I figure out who's playing in it. Kelsey, any other words on this episode or thinking about going forward? What are your thoughts of the next She-Hulk episode? Are you enjoying it? I'm enjoying it.
I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot.
I think the visual effects on her She-Hulk herself are still not great, but
it's definitely
I think they're doing a good job, like trying to find a way to go back to Jen and be like,
yeah,
all right, like I need you to talk to me as you because like this is important. Like I like that.
Yeah,
where it's like okay, and we get to get the funny like drunk bit, but also we get to like get away from the horrible CGI. So it kind of kills two
and
birds
it's not
with one
horrible, but it's not great
in
either.
comparison to other stuff. It's like in Marvel standards, it's horrible. But like, and compared to like other movies and shows, like it's better than your average. Like it's better than the CW. No offense, but
no,
you know what I mean.
For
like,
sure,
the CW shit, like that's not. And I'm not saying it's shit, but like CW stuff, it's not. I personally have never found it that great, but I don't know. Who am I to say? Any last words? Last words. I sound like you're on trial or whatever. Any last words? I changed our names back like 5 minutes ago, by the way, and you didn't notice.
Oh, didn't notice. Still didn't notice. I have a request, actually. Can my name just be Kelsey?
Yeah.
Thanks.
Did I upset you? I'm sorry.
No. It's okay. I know. Okay, because we were doing like draft day or trivia or something, and everyone had only their first name on it, and I was the only one like first name, last name, and I was just like, oh, I wish I was like everyone else. I wish it was just Kelsey.
But also, you're like gonna be the famous actress someday, so like it's cool that you have your last name because then people when they go back and find you, they'll be like, oh, that's it. Because you're just anyone. You're any Kelsey like right now.
Sure.
Like,
maybe I'll be like Cher or Adele.
Maybe. But even then, like I've never met other Chers. I've never met other Madonnas, but I've met other Adeles, so it's kind of like.
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, well, anyway, you can find me on Instagram at Kelsey A. Kilpatrick. You can follow me on TikTok at Cause13, or you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Cause Productions.
Yeah, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Dill Pickle Movie Network. If you're watching here, you're probably already subscribed. If you're not, do it because. Why not?
Fucking subscribe.
Whoa, hey, don't threaten them.
Sorry.
Cheeky. Hey, come on. Don't let your Hulk out.
I'm just kidding.
Subscribe!
I really like your channel, and I want people to like it as much as I do.
Kelsey's like, I want money. Dylan_Randazzo at Twitter. No, I do too. Dylan_Randazzo at Twitter, Dylan Randazzo 417 at TikTok. Like I said, draft day is literally happening right after this. So this airs at 10, draft day's at 11. What am I going to say after that? Frame Wreck, we have a new episode coming out soon. That's it. That's all I got. Cool. Great. Cool. All right. We'll see you next week for more trivia. And then in 2 weeks, we'll see you for She-Hulk's episode 3 and 4. So you're not going to get She-Hulk next week, but you're going to get 2 She-Hulks the week after that. It's a whole lot of She-Hulk. Don't poop in strange places.